Live, local, late breaking. WPBF 25 News at 6 starts now.
Right now it's 6 after relatively quiet 2018 Atlantic hurricane season up until now. Take a look. Tropics heating up. We're tracking two systems, and one of them will bring heavy rains to our area over the holiday weekend. Of course, this comes just weeks before the one-year anniversary of Hurricane Irma. A year ago today, Irma did form in the Atlantic. 11 days later, the Category 4 storm made landfall in Florida. Hello, and thanks for joining us here at 6. I'm Todd McDermott. Meteorologist Chris Martinez is in the WPBF 25 First Alert Weather Center with the latest. Chris?
All right, Todd, tonight we are tracking two systems. One will have an impact, bringing heavy rain on your holiday weekend. And that means that we'll continue to track this system, not anticipated to form any further. It's very ragged tonight at 6 o'clock. Here's our wave. We've been telling this about you for past couple of days. It is very disorganized, and it continues to sit over Puerto Rico back towards the Dominican Republic. Right now, it's a tropical wave. It is moving towards the west-northwest and will bring more tropical moisture and more showers and storms to our area starting Sunday, lasting all the way until Wednesday. You can see Hurricane Center gives this a 10% chance that it could possibly develop any further. So here's what we need to know for Labor Day. Tropical wave moves in, enhanced shower and storm chances beginning on Sunday, on Monday, and again on Tuesday. And with the tropical moisture, we're talking about winds picking up just a little bit between 15 and 30 miles per hour. The other system is potential tropical cyclone number 6. Hurricane Center gives it this name because they do anticipate we'll see a named storm. So they issue a future track with this. And you can see this storm could be a tropical storm and eventually a hurricane, but is expected to move towards the west-northwest and in towards the open Atlantic. And no bother for us here in South Florida. Back here at home, scattered showers continue around Palm Beach County and offshore of Martin County. They're in the forecast through your early evening. What about overnight and tomorrow morning? I'll have that future track in South Florida certified most accurate coming up in about 10 minutes.
Chris, thank you. It takes just one storm to drastically change your life. If you haven't done so already, please download our updated 2018 Hurricane Survival Guide. It's available on all of our digital platforms for you. It includes a checklist of what to do before, during, and after a storm. We also included a map of the local evacuation zones where you live and a list of shelters on the Treasure Coast and throughout the Palm Beaches. You can find the guide for free on our WPBF 25 news app and our website, WPBF.com. Now to a murder investigation on the Treasure Coast. The St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office just released new details about the young woman found dead in a ditch along a road last week. The county sheriff, Ken Mascara, previously identified the victim as 23-year-old Tanya Wise. Detectives now say she was pregnant. As Ted White reports, the sheriff's deputy is still working to find her killer.
The St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office has officially ruled this case a homicide. As they continue to investigate, they are asking for the public's help. They hope the public can track down the killer. This is Tanya Wise. She is 23 years old. Police say the medical examiner has ruled that her injuries are consistent with a homicide. They also say that she was pregnant. On Friday, August 24th, a passerby found Wise's body in a ditch along Russo's Road near Johnson Road. Detectives spent hours searching the area. For now, police are not saying how she died. St. Lucie County Sheriff Ken Mascara says they are hoping someone will reach out to them.
We want any information, even if people think it's really not important, any information they have about Tanya and her relationships with anyone, we want to know about it.
Sheriff Mascara says whoever killed Wise and her unborn child will face 2 counts of murder. Anyone with information is asked to call the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office. In Fort Pierce, Ted White, WPBF 25 News.
A second death investigation in St. Lucie County. Detectives found a woman's body in a home in the Cypress Bay Mobile Home Park on Tuesday. They identified the woman as 52-year-old Bonnie Hanks. Detectives arrested that man, Jeffrey Yankowski, in connection with her murder. They say the suspect lived with the victim. And all new here at 6, a Palm Beach County School Board member getting pushback after video of her response to getting reelected surfaced on social media. Ari Heights live with the video and a response from that board member. Ari?
Dr. Deborah Robinson is no stranger to winning an election. She's been on the Palm Beach County School Board since the year 2000, longer than anybody else currently on the board. But her reaction to winning re-election on Tuesday evening was caught on camera and then posted on social media. It shows her using profanity with children in the room. And that reaction was just moments after Dr. Robinson won a decisive victory over her challenger, Edwin Ferguson. But Dr. Robinson isn't just being criticized for the profanity. There are also questions about what appears to be her saying she plans on getting revenge against those who did not support her in this campaign.
Frankly, I was shocked. I would have thought that the focus would have been more on having run a very good race, fought a hard fought, and coming out the victor, as opposed to what appears to be kind of a statement that she is going to have, for lack of a better term, a hit list.
In a phone conversation, Dr. Robinson declined to comment on that supposed hit list. In general, though, she did tell us, quote, "It was in the heat of the moment after a very long campaign. It was inappropriate, so I apologize for that." Right now, it isn't clear if Dr. Robinson will face any official backlash because of her comments. We're live tonight. Ari Height, WPBF 25 News.
Ari, thank you. New at 6, several Florida lawmakers expressing concerns for people living in an apartment complex in Riviera Beach. We've told you about this place before. The lawmakers include Senators Bill Nelson and Marco Rubio. They sent a letter to the Department of Housing and Urban Development about deteriorating conditions at the Stony Brook Apartments. Earlier this week, a HUD official toured that complex. Right now, crews are working to remove some of that blue-green algae choking Treasure Coast waterways. They're using a device that essentially vacuums the slime into a tank. Angela Rozier has our story.
Well, this is a day people who live and work near those waterways that are filled with blue-green algae have been waiting for. Crews here cleaning up the mess. Algae removal crews got started at around 9:30 Thursday morning. Palm City resident Carrie Lucas glad to see them.
This operation here, somebody stood up and decided to do it. It's not huge, it's not elaborate, but it is working, and they're helping, and I'm thankful for the county. The people are coming out here to do this for the people.
Martin County officials received a $700,000 grant from the Florida DEP to hire an engineering firm to clean up the algae. Crews use a vacuum to suck up the green slime, which goes into a tank that's mounted on a boat. The algae is then transferred to a truck that's parked nearby and eventually transferred to a wastewater treatment plant. Ken and Vanessa Mortensen live in that same Palm City neighborhood. He says the cleanup effort is great, but still more needs to be done.
It's just putting a tourniquet on it. They need to do something that will permanently fix it. And I hope we get some people in office this coming November that will do something about it.
In Martin County, Angela Rozier, WPBF 25 News.
Today, Florida Senator Marco Rubio joined the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and members of the South Florida Water Management District to get a first-hand look at how algae is impacting our local communities. Last week, the senator took a look at the algae on Florida's west coast. Senator Rubio recently secured $1 million from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to help areas impacted by harmful algae blooms. And right now, the water level at Lake Okeechobee is at 14.6 feet. That means water releases will likely continue for the foreseeable future. The Army Corps of Engineers typically likes to keep the lake between 12 and 15 feet during the rainy summer months. Fans of the online game Fortnite will be at the Town Center Mall in Boca Raton this weekend for several gaming events. It comes less than a week after a gunman opened fire at a video game tournament in a bar and restaurant in Jacksonville, killing 2 people before he turned the gun on himself and wounding several others. Security officials from Town Center issued a statement today assuring people safety measures are in place. Tomorrow's event starts at 5:30 at the Microsoft store. The pizza restaurant in Jacksonville, where Saturday's shooting happened, is now closed. A cease and desist letter was posted on the door of Chicago Pizza. Fire inspectors claim the restaurant violated several city codes, including management not having a permit to hold that Madden 19 video game tournament event last weekend. The last approved building layout for Chicago Pizza was also submitted nearly 10 years ago. Firefighters say since that time, the restaurant management altered the layout plan without approval by creating the unpermitted gaming area.
It's important in this circumstance because people were not able to get out quickly. If you don't have a safety plan, you can't get a permit in Jacksonville.
The owner of Chicago Pizza says he's aware people are putting the blame on his business, but he did not give any additional comment. The Okeechobee County Sheriff's Office needs your help to track down a man wanted for the rape of a teenager. This is Victor De Silva. Deputies have several warrants out for his arrest. His last known address was in Port St. Lucie. They say he could be driving a 2009 red Honda. The Florida tag is 4344TU. If you see him or if you know where he is, please call the Okeechobee County Sheriff's Office. Now an important alert. CVS pulling all powdered Enfamil baby formula from the shelves after a Florida mother found a different substance in the container. Allison Denning says she found what looked like all-purpose flour in the container of Enfamil. She says the protective seal on the container appeared to be untouched. She sent the container to the manufacturer for testing, which led to a recall from CVS stores. The company is still working to test that substance.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
Tonight, Americans across this country continue to pay tribute to late Arizona Senator John McCain. The Republican senator died over the weekend after discontinuing treatment for stage 4 brain cancer. Now, earlier today, his casket was taken from the Arizona Capitol building to a church in Phoenix for a memorial service. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle attended today's services, including former Vice President Joe Biden, who delivered the eulogy. After learning the news of McCain's death, the former vice president took to Twitter, writing, quote, "To me, more than anything, John was a friend. He will be missed dearly."
I know John said he hoped he played a small part in that story. John, you did much more than that, my friend. To paraphrase Shakespeare, we shall not see his like again.
Biden served for decades in the Senate with McCain. Late this afternoon, Senator McCain's family gathered on the tarmac as members of the U.S. military took his flag-draped casket from a hearse to a plane to take his remains to Washington, D.C. He will lie in state in the U.S. Capitol for 2 days before his burial Sunday. Florida Governor Rick Scott will attend Senator McCain's memorial service in Washington, D.C. tomorrow. The governor issuing a statement in the wake of McCain's death that reads in part, "As a Navy man myself, I've always had immense respect for Senator McCain. A lot of folks talk tough, but he was the real deal." Coverage of Senator John McCain's death continues on World News Tonight with David Muir. That starts in about 20 minutes at 6:30.
So anytime I have a bad day, I just look at it and say, you know, it could be a lot worse.
All new here at 6. The local veteran credits his helmet with saving his life in battle. How researchers are now using that helmet to improve future equipment for members of the armed forces. Plus, an air leak in the International Space Station. Why it could be a problem for Russian cosmonauts who are scheduled to return to Earth later this year. You're watching WPBF 25 News at 6. Now to a story you'll only see here on WPBF 25 News. A local veteran says his helmet saved his life while he was serving in Afghanistan. Jason Miller says the helmet actually changed the trajectory of a bullet. It nearly went through his head. As Waukesha Bailey explains now, Miller's helmet is now being used to improve safety equipment for service members.
It's been a year since the military announced improving their advanced combat helmet that's been used for the last 15 years. We spoke with one soldier today, and he says while improvements are great, he says that the old one saved his life.
An AK-47, so a 7.62 millimeter round that went through, came out the other side there, and it actually curved around the inside of the helmet.
We caught up with Jason Miller at the Ambrosia Treatment Center. He's a veteran and a recipient of the Purple Heart. Miller served in the U.S. Army, and he did 2 tours in Afghanistan until doctors decided it was time for him to medically retire.
First deployment is actually shot, and then after I healed up and I fought the actual med board, then went back to my unit, deployed again, and the second deployment I hit 3 IEDs, 2 smaller ones and then one that actually did a little more damage. And at that point, the doctors basically said, you know, you can't keep doing this.
Miller said he's fortunate for what he calls his lucky helmet.
It actually changed the trajectory of the round, curved around the inside of the helmet and burnt my head and my hair, and saved my life.
This lucky helmet is an advanced combat helmet, also called an ACH. It not only saved Miller's life, but it was also used as part of an extensive forensic and ballistic testing to help with future safety equipment. But now it's a keepsake.
It's a constant reminder that I have a lot to be thankful for. So anytime I have a bad day, I just look at it and say, you know, it could be a lot worse.
The military is currently testing a new ACH design. It's meant to be lighter and provide more protection for our soldiers. Waukesha Bailey, WPBF 25 News.
Now new at 6, crews working to repair a small air leak on the Russian side of the International Space Station. NASA officials say the leak may be the result of micrometeorite strikes, which could have hit the Soyuz capsule. Soyuz arrived at the ISS in June with a 3-person crew, by the way. It's their ride home in December, too. NASA stressed that the 6 astronauts living on ISS are not in any danger. Now our WPBF 25 first alert traffic update for you. A live look at Indiantown Road and the Turnpike. No problems with traffic. Get ready for traffic, though, starting tomorrow for the holiday weekend. Here's a live look at Hypoluxo Road and I-95. Traffic moving along pretty well. You can get your first look traffic update anytime just by going to our website, WPBF.com. Well, right now, scientists are working around the clock to care for these 2 pygmy killer whales that beached themselves near Clearwater. This is video of people pulling the whales from the water yesterday. They initially thought the whales were dolphins because the 2 breeds do look very similar, but they are very different animals. Right now, scientists working to figure out if red tide algae is making those whales sick. A judge gives the green light for the federal government to end a temporary housing voucher program for Puerto Ricans who came to Florida in the wake of Hurricane Maria. The program allows evacuees to live in hotels on the U.S. mainland. The judge also ordered FEMA to keep the program in place through September 13th to give the evacuees time to make other plans. The program was supposed to expire originally in June, but a judge extended that deadline. Chris?
All right, good Thursday evening. Scattered showers, the name of the game this Thursday evening here across the area. We could even see them last into the overnight hours. Right now, as we take a live look at First Alert Doppler radar, little blops here and there around Beeline Highway, just north of the airport. Back towards Indiantown, we got some scattered showers west of the farms right now. Watching these showers and a few rumbles of thunder right now. They may sneak closer towards Stewart, back towards Palm City, Jensen Beach, Rio, Nettles Island within the next, let's say, 15 to 30 minutes. They'll continue to move closer towards Port St. Lucie, so you may notice a few more clouds moving in. Pretty good dousing right now just west of town in Okeechobee. These reds indicating some heavy showers right now between you and Buckhead Ridge. They'll continue to lift towards the northwest. So hour by hour, going to keep the rain chances at about 20 or 30% coverage through your evening. And as long as we've got this east-southeasterly flow, we've got to put the rain chance in the forecast overnight as well. Midnight, 2, 4 o'clock in the morning. So again, you may see some lightning as you're up early tomorrow morning, as these scattered showers will stick around because of all the tropical moisture we have in place here across South Florida. So here's the big wide picture. You can see the 2 systems we're tracking. One wave over the Caribbean. Here's our next named system. Hasn't been named yet. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But let's first talk about this wave that we've been alerting you about for the past few days. It's really not going to develop into anything more than a wave. It looks like right now it will start to bring a lot more tropical moisture to our area starting on Sunday. So that does mean a wet Labor Day for us, lasting Tuesday and Wednesday of next week as well. So Hurricane Center gives this a 10% chance for possibly development. You can see very low chance it does develop any further. Back here off the coast of Africa, potential tropical cyclone number 6. You're maybe thinking, why is it potential tropical? Well, Hurricane Center issues these so they can get a future track and the latest stats because they do anticipate this will be our next named storm. Do we need to worry about this system right now as we see it? The answer is no. It will be moving towards the west-northwest, far away from any kind of land and into the open Atlantic. So no need to worry about that. But of course, we'll keep a close eye on that. Back here at home, we've got a ton of moisture right on top of us. A little bit of that daytime heating, scattered showers and storms again in the forecast. All day parts in the morning, noon, afternoon, and to the evening hours. That's just going to be the trend as we head closer into the weekend as well. So 79 tonight, overnight showers possible, partly cloudy, very humid outside. Tomorrow, morning showers and storms again. Mostly cloudy skies, your high temperature about 89. As we take a look at the boating forecast, we're talking about moderate risks, some rip currents if you're taking it out to the beach. East-southeasterly breeze at 10 to 15. And here's a look at South Florida's certified most accurate forecast. Again, rain chances, Todd, to my friends at home. Labor Day, kind of wet. Tuesday, wet as well, with high temperatures into the upper 80s.
We're going to get soaked, Chris. Thank you. The Miami Dolphins wrap up their preseason tonight in Atlanta. Team hoping for a win after losing the first 3 preseason games. But you know what? It really doesn't matter because it doesn't count. Tonight's kickoff is at 7 o'clock at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. The Dolphins' first regular season game, when it counts, Sunday, September 9th against the Tennessee Titans. you're looking to start a small business, Florida is a place to be, including Palm Beach County. A new report from Verizon Business ranks the top cities in the country for small startups. 8 Florida cities made the list, including Weston, Delray Beach, Kissimmee, Daytona Beach, and Lauderhill, making the top 15. The study looks at factors including population, education, travel time to work, and tax scores. If you're looking for a job, Amazon's working to hire more than 1,000 people here in South Florida. The online retailer filling full-time and part-time positions at its new robotics fulfillment center in Opelika. Candidates have to be at least 18 years old and have a high school diploma.
Cabinet meeting.
Tonight at 11, the latest move President Trump wants to make regarding some government workers' paychecks. We have that story, much more for you tonight on WPBF 25 News at 11.
And scattered showers continue tonight. Temperature tomorrow into the upper 80s. Rain chances, they do increase even further than that, especially Labor Day and into Tuesday. It's going to keep those temperatures down into the upper 80s. Could be a little bit breezy as well on Labor Day.
I don't see the words barbecue or Labor Day beach day on that
Stay
forecast.
inside.
We'll see you at 11.